Welcome to Virtual Career Day. I'm your host, Dave. We're going to be reviewing the position of a database administrator. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So what is a database administrator? A database administrator is a person who manages data, databases, and database-related tools in a business. They work with technology to help a business grow by making good use of the information that they collect. Then they take that information that they gather and organize it or present it in a more useful form to be used by the business leaders. Then the business leaders make better strategic decisions for the company with that data. What is data? Data are facts and statistics related to any object. Data alone is useless, but data put into context, used for analysis, can be very powerful. Example is 911. Alone is useless. It's just a number after 910. But put into context, it could be an event that happened in America. It could be the model of a Porsche, or it could be an emergency number to call. So what does data look like? Data can come in many digital forms. There's structured data, which is organized and formatted in a way that can be easily searched or modified. There's unstructured data, which is unorganized and difficult to manage. This takes up more space and cannot be used in conventional databases. And then there's semi-structured, which is a mix of both. This has some consistent characteristics of structured data, but is still unorganized and cannot be managed the same way. Some examples include CSV or Excel files, which are structured. Then there's emails and XML, which are unstructured, well, semi-structured. And then there's images, picture, PDF, video, or voice recordings, which are unstructured data. So what is a database? A database is a systematic collection of data that is organized to be easily accessed, managed, and protected. There are many different types of databases, but I'm going to only speak about these three. There's the relational database, which is the most commonly used database. It organizes data in tables for easy searching and manipulation. Then there's the object-oriented database, which is based on object-oriented programming, where in this concept is separating each function as its own program. Then there's the NoSQL database. This is designed for modern applications that use large, unstructured amount of data. Some examples of this would be like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, basically applications that require a large amount of data that's consistently coming in that are unstructured. So what is a database management system? DBMS for short. It is a tool used to help manage a collection of databases. Using this, a person can search for data, manipulate data, take a backup of the data, or encrypt data. Some of the more traditional database management systems include SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, or Microsoft Access. Some of the newer ones include PostgreSQL, MarandaDB, or MongoDB, but there are hundreds of more. So what is a structured query language? SQL for short, and some people say SQL. This is a database language used to send commands to the database to perform tasks. This is typically done through the database management system. It is used to send commands such as insert, search, update, or delete. An example that's shown here below is if you wanted to send a command to pull out information such as first name and last name from the employees table of all employees with the age that's greater than 25. So you would simply type in the command, select first name, last name from employees where age is greater than 25. So in the next few slides, we're going to be talking about what a database administrator does. And we're going to start off by talking about security. How does a database administrator protect the data from being stolen? So to do this, a database administrator usually follow guidelines or what are called best practices to help ensure the security of the database or the entire server. They may configure it in a way where it's a lot more difficult for a hacker or bad actor to get into the server and manipulate it in a way where it can cause a disruption or steal information. How does a database administrator protect the data from being corrupted? Usually they'll put in constraints in a database or in a table to prevent duplicate data from happening or to prevent bad data from getting in. For one example, if you may have an application which we would expect calendar dates to come into that into the table, but instead people may accidentally put in a sentence or put in a special character or something like that. We want the database to reject that input, or better yet, the application to reject that input. So how does a database administrator protect the data from being lost or deleted? We do this by performing backups. We may do a daily backup, a weekly backup, a monthly backup, or even a backup every 15 minutes. And doing this backup, it creates like a snapshot, which basically saves the state of the database of how it is. So in case something data gets lost or deleted by accident or purposely, we'll be able to restore the data immediately from the backup. So how do we protect the data from being seen by the wrong person? Doing this will manage the security of creating logins, ensuring that the passwords are, have a good amount of complexity to prevent hackers from stealing that information. This may involve having a password that is have a certain length, like 10 length, or have special characters in it to make sure that the passwords are changed every 30 days or every 6 months, or whatever the guidelines the business would like you to do. Another job of a DBA is to ensure that the data is being sent and received to the right destination. In the case of a website or application data, the DBA may help ensure that the results of the user's input is correct. They may also check the performance to make sure that the result isn't taking too long. A database administrator may create documents or reports that can be used by the business owners or analysts to help make decisions. They may also need to deliver data to another business by creating automated jobs to pull the data, manipulate it in a specific format, and send it to a specific location in a specific time frame. Or they may work with a programmer to create what is called an API so that the other business, which could be their client, can pull the information that they need. So a database administrator is the most exercised skill of a DBA is problem solving. The data in every business is the most important asset, so the DBA is usually the first person to be called upon if there is a problem with the data. This is where the leadership and direction is needed and should be communicated to the developers or the business owners from a database administrator's perspective. So these are a few of the many skills that a DBA may possess, but depending upon the size of the business or the type of business, there may be a lot of other skill sets that they will require for a DBA. But these are the typical skills that most places will need. So what do I like? So what I dislike about the database administrator position is that, as most technology jobs, it will either evolve or go away. I can see the position evolving into a more analytical position, such as a data scientist or data analyst. The current workload in which I do now will probably be split up between the developers and the third-party cloud company that the company decides to host their servers on. The developers may take over the development of the databases and the tables and building of the data models, while the third-party cloud company that hosts the servers may take over the security portion or the disaster recovery, backups, and things of that nature. These types of changes are very expensive for larger organizations. So if they do go in that direction, they may take a very long time to do it. But it's still important to keep evolving my skills in case a drastic change like this occurs. So for those who are still interested, they may ask, how do I become a DBA? Well, there are a whole lot of different paths you can take to get into the position. The traditional path is to go to college and obtain an associate's, bachelor's, or even a master's degree in some type of technology discipline. Others may take the path of going to a technical school that may take a lot less time than obtaining a degree from a college, and then grabbing a certificate or taking an exam at a corporation such as Microsoft or Oracle, just to be certified in that discipline. Either way, you will also need to gain some experience and working with people, either shadowing a person or taking some type of internship at a job to become it. Some people just get their foot into the door by just working, just doing technical type work at a lower level, and then they move their way up into a database position or in a management position. Overall, working in the technology field can be awesome. You will need to keep evolving and be courageous enough to learn new things and step outside your safe zone. You may not know this now, but you have the capability to make anything happen for yourself. So keep your eyes open and keep your mind open.